The UK pound has fallen to its lowest level in over a year, and government borrowing costs have surged to their highest level in 16 years. Economists warn of further tax rises and cuts in spending. How will this impact on the tech industry? Emily?
Oh, it's just so depressing, isn't it? I mean, this government came in, I thought they were being really clever, and they were keeping all of their ideas under wraps, and they were going to surprise us all with their brilliance and their ideas, and they just don't have any ideas.
Well,
but the one thing that came through in the election campaign was we're all about growth, which sounded really positive for tech and really positive for small businesses. And since they've come in, small businesses particularly, and actually this isn't just the current government, small businesses have had an enormous increased tax burden over the last 15 years. And also, so there's now going to be real deterrence for growing your employee base and the sort of investment that you need to create that growth and innovation. You know, the tech industry.
So you're saying they didn't have bold ideas?
I don't think they have bold ideas, no.
Kieran. Full disclosure, Kieran McCarthy, journalist, campaigned as a Lib Dem candidate in Putney, and raised their margin in Putney, let's put it that way. But we are looking at and talking to...
I think my economic ideas for Putney were better than this government's idea.
Well, but Emily says they didn't have bold ideas. I thought their tax rises were bold.
Oh, they were bold. They were also stupid.
Hugest bold tax rises you could get. Their public sector pay rises were bold. They didn't need any meetings. They didn't need to meet for 3 years like they're doing with the social care reform bill. They just raised those 22% pay rises at a stroke.
I'm feeling miserable now, and this is supposed to be fun.
Oh, I'm having fun because you're saying they're not doing any bold ideas. I've just named two.
There's a difference between being bold and being intelligent. You know,
I'm going to say that every day for the rest of my life.
You can be bold. You can walk into a pub and pick a fight with somebody. It doesn't mean it's a smart thing to do. No, I think it's really depressing. I really did think, I had a lot of sort of hope that they would come up with some good ideas. They certainly had enough time. They certainly knew they were going to become the government. No one was surprised by that. But it's been, I don't know, there's this very old Labour thinking that's stuck in there, and I don't think they're in 2025 on any level. So taxing and saying it's not taxing, but taxing employers is, when we need to grow an economy, is madness. Putting this tax on private schools is irritating a huge chunk of society. They needed to be sort of on side. And then you just look at what the market's doing. They said they'd do growth, but then they paid massive. Now, I have some sympathy for the pay rises. We're underpaying people. But just to pay it off, just to be done with it and get out the way. I mean, it's all pointing in the wrong direction. Yeah. And the markets have made it abundantly clear that they think it's going the wrong direction. I mean, it's a disaster.
Eleanor, I don't know, it's not, without getting into left and right politics, I've been a socialist all my life, but I've found this an absolute drought of politics at the moment. It's impossible to really see what the best thing is. As a business owner or part owner, I should be a conservative with all of those sort of pressures on small business, taxes, taxing employers, all of those employees rather. Sorry, I wasn't planning to even talk about this at all really. But this sort of stuff is difficult. What's your view on what's happening at the moment in terms of the legal profession? If not, I want to get into the tech profession, possible impact on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone is finding it tough, and our clients are finding it tough, and that obviously has an effect on us. And as for kind of new ideas and growth, I mean, one example of a lack of new ideas is the government has basically just recycled the old Conservative government's data protection and digital information bill and put it back through Parliament. And you just think, why? There's nothing new in there at all. They've just adopted, just picked up where the old government left off. And that is really depressing, because this is an area, as we're discussing, where, a bit of innovative thinking would be brilliant and really good for the UK, but it's just not there.
And I was, this is a little bit of a passion project of mine, because one place where I think there is money is going to be in the health sector. And I was, and it badly needs, and I say this as somebody who worked in the health service very briefly until I had an immediate nervous breakdown for working in the health service. But I was working in the informatics department, information and technology. And what was badly lacking was good information and technology because it's expensive. So the stuff that EasyJet has, is what the health service needs for booking appointments. And they have nothing like that. It's just, my daughter has just resigned from the health service because of the prehistoric sort of systems that have been set up that need review and overhauling. It's going to be expensive. These are areas where you have potential for big IT developments and big information speeding up of things, which at the moment are so draggy. West Streeting this week, the health secretary has announced a social care reform audit, and they've given themselves 3 years to just have that audit and come up with an idea.
3 years? 3 years? How can they do that?
And I can see that the health service is heading for just the Americanization, getting companies like Salesforce to adapt their software, and then we end up sort of paying these licenses to America forever for these juggernaut projects. I'm interested in your view, Emily, on where this is heading.
Well, again, I think we should move on because we're now going into a complete depression, and I just want to pull the duvet over my head and wake up in a different world.
Well, I mean, that says it all.
Yeah, I mean, Again, I think, like Kieran was saying, I was really hopeful that this government was going to put the sort of the love and the love and investment that the public sector has been absolutely drained of for the last 15 years. And again, they're just buying themselves 3 years to think up a possible solution to something that everybody knows is a huge problem, which is the care of elderly people. We've just been through that. So many families are affected by the cost of care of elderly people, and that will take the entire family's wealth and just end up paying care costs for it. That was something that none of us thought we were signing up for in a national health service, and it's clearly a problem that's going to get worse with the ageing population, the lack of population renewal. So there, I said I didn't want to talk about it. Here we go. I'm on my soapbox.
Thank you, everyone. Right, now, well, it's obviously time to cheer ourselves up again. So let's talk about something we hate. It's time for our Tech Room 101. Eleanor Dews. What is your Tech Room 101? What would you like to? What internet-y thing would you like to throw in the bin forever?
It's got to be smart glasses. I mean, bonkers, absolutely bonkers. I watched some footage of some Harvard students recently wearing smart glasses, going up to people in a train station and saying hello and saying people's name. And they were absolutely shocked. I mean, what is the use of that? It's really, really creepy. So I'm against those. Room 101.
What is the point of them? Is it so that you can check your emails in meetings without having to look down?
Oh, I mean, maybe, but why? We've all got phones. People are always checking them.
I think there are two guys here that would quite like a pair of these glasses.
Okay, let's have a counter up.
They are.
I can see Kieran's gone quiet. We haven't heard Kieran. Kieran,
there's elements that I quite like about the idea.
Just squeezing out a little bit of negativity.
Seriously though, the facial recognition, I'm terrible with names. If I could just install my own contacts and say, oh, hi, and get my own friends and colleagues' names right first time, that would be really nice.
Oh, actually, this would be great for Lucian for my Irish family parties, because I have 40 first cousins,
Literally.
And they've all got, wives, husbands, loads of kids, and you do need the eye in the sky to go, who's this?
But you also need the phonetics with Irish names, like written phonetically on the screen in front of you.
Yes, exactly. So we're coming up for our final topic, and I'm really fascinated.
Hang on, are we allowed to put it in the Room 101 or not?
Oh, I see.
Oh, what about you, Lucian? So Kieran's a little bit. Kieran wants it. No, you're not the judge. I just want to hear what you think about the smart glasses. Because I'm with Eleanor. I think they're creepy and useless, and they also make people look vacant and stupid when they're wearing them. There.
I think they're a sort of like a guilty pleasure, really. I've got to publicly say I don't like them. So
Don't mix the streams between guilty pleasure and 101.
Definitely in the Tech Room 101.
That I
am required
no.
to say. Yeah, so anyway, moving on.